Welcome to Connecting the Community podcast. I am your host, Marj Andre. I will be connecting you to people, organizations, and events that create community. I am creating this podcast in Richmond Hill, an eclectic and very culturally diverse community with lots of trees and streams and interesting people, just up the hill from Toronto. On this podcast, I will be speaking with Celine de Sa Buckley, my friend, my neighbor, a travel agent, and a CTCer, someone who regularly comes to the Tuesday morning Connecting the Community meetings. Welcome, Celine.
Thank you, Marj. We've been talking about this for quite a while. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, I am so glad we have finally found the time to have this conversation, do this podcast. Now, Celine, there have been a lot of good conversations about traveling at our CTC meetings. We said that we should do this podcast about this desire to travel, desire to talk about traveling, and now not to travel to the United States. We're not going to dwell on the negative. There's not traveling to the US. We're going to talk about all the other amazing places to go. And this time of year, people are going to where it is warm. Can you recommend a couple places and why?
Well, I'm glad that we're not going to talk about the US because a lot of Canadian travelers have dumped it right now. And and there is the whole world that's open to us and always has been. And we are going to, this is a good time to start exploring and enjoying the rest of the world. The question you asked me, Marge, is a difficult one because all destinations, it's difficult because as a travel agent, we want to see where the client wants to go, and we qualify the client. So, but just to roughly tell you that the Caribbean is a popular destination with Canadians at this time of the year. For example, they want beach, sea, and sun. We would go to Costa Rica, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Mexico, Cuba. Um, these are really popular with Canadians, and they can be bought as all inclusives, which means that hotel, air, and food, it's all included. Or it can also be sold with hotels only and flights separately. So you will add the components if you want to do scuba diving or you want to golf or whatever you want to do separately, you can do. Because a lot of people on all inclusives feel it's not worthwhile. So that's what I would say. Adventure travel is a big draw too at this time of the year because you could go to Africa or you could go to anywhere in the tropics. And there are Canadians who are big travelers, and they do use this time of the year to see that part of the world.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you've booked all inclusives for me. Thank you. And I
Thank
certainly
you.
have enjoyed that. And they've been good memories. But we should be honest, I'm in Honduras in my own place. So I'm not having a holiday. I'm saying I'm working from a warm place. But yeah, this is nice. We're talking in a day where there is lots of snow back in Richmond Hill. So yeah, we can thinking about being someplace else is excellent. So at CTC, at our Connecting the Community meetings, cruises are frequently discussed. Why do people go on cruises? And like, what are the advantages?
Because cruises are a big bang for your buck. That's what I
Okay.
say, because they're always promotions on cruising. First of all, there's good food on a ship, good entertainment. People can meet other people and enjoy themselves. And there are places to visit and experiences at every port. So you also unpack once. And cruising has really picked up because I'm selling a lot of cruises. A lot of the big chefs in the world now have their own kitchens there and their own cuisines. It's great value for your money.
Okay. So where are some good places that go on a cruise?
Well, a lot of us here, we go to either the Caribbean or to Europe. This time of the year, we'd be going to the Caribbean. And then in the spring and summer, it's Europe. And there's also cruises to Africa, Australia, and Asia.
Okay.
And Canadians do those cruises as well because they can get to see the countries and stay in one place.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I know people have gone down there now for Caribbean cruises. Can you board somewhere other than at a US port?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can board anywhere. You can board in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah.
can, yeah, and you can board in any part. You can board in Europe if you're taking a European cruise, of
Hmm.
course, it'll be Europe. But you can board all over the Caribbean. There are fleets of ships that that let you do that. Not all ships board from the US.
Okay. Okay. Just wondering about that. I know there's this aversion to doing anything in the US, so just checking. Okay. Uh, you have recently gone to Azores. That's how I pronounce it. I think I've heard you pronounce it a bit different. And I have been there, but we found out from our conversations at Connecting the Community, other people were like, where are you talking about? So, can you describe Azores, where it is, and why you and I love traveling there?
Oh, Marge, it's so beautiful. I love the Azores. There are three ways of saying it, by the way. I think the American way is Azores, and Portuguese way is Azores, Azores, and I just say Azores.
Hmm.
So it's all the same, right? But
Okay,
just to let you know that, let the audience know that we're talking about Azores.
Azores. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is so great about Azores? And I'll have you say it rather than me.
First of all, it's only 5.5 hours flight from Toronto to there. And if you want to go to Portugal from there, it's 45 minutes. So really, it's a very fast way to get to Europe. Um, Azores, they are a volcanic archipelago consisting of nine beautiful magical islands. We landed in the biggest island, which was San Miguel. It's the largest island and it has the capital, Ponta Delgado, for all of Azores. It's beautiful. It's green and lush with subtropical climate, and there is so much to see and do. I would rather go there than go to Hawaii. I mean, even before all this took place, because it is so much cheaper, it's cleaner, it's safer, it's peaceful. People are so nice and friendly, and it's a must. It's a must for everyone. Um, Ponte Delgado has beautiful gardens in the city and a beautiful museum full of antiquities. It's got restaurants that have Portuguese and American cuisine. The fish is fresh from the ocean, and beef is the cows are grass fed. The wine is amazing that you have tasted and you
I love
like.
Vino Verde is a great wine. And I want to go back to those cows. They referred to them as happy cows. Did
Oh,
you hear
really?
that? Yeah, I was
Oh,
on some
yeah,
tour
you're
and it was happy
right.
cows. So yeah, the food was good. That you bringing back good memories of good meals and again good wines. Did you see any of the vineyards there growing amongst the
Yes, we did.
volcanic rock? Oh, I was
Yeah,
amazed. Yeah.
We visited a vineyard. They're all family. Everything is family done there. There's no big corporations. So everything is done personally. And the cheese is amazing. I was surprised to see such amazing cheese and bacon too. I thought we had the best bacon in the world, but you know what? They have a very good bacon.
Mm.
We went to the tea plantation and I really love their tea every morning. At the tea plantation, I saw there are no pesticides and nothing, no chemicals used on the leaves. You know how they keep them pure? By vaporizing them with hot water.
Mhm. You have an advantage over me in that you speak Portuguese because you were born in Goa, which is a Portuguese colony, correct?
Yes.
So anything else that really caught your eye when you went to Azores?
Yes. This is a highlight that you must see if you go to the island. It's a volcanic activity that is happening right in the middle of the island. It's a geothermal wonder of the world, and it's a hot spot. It's you see bubbling fumaroles opening in the Earth's surface.
Like I remember there being like pots in the ground where they actually cooked it there, and you could certain restaurants would reserve certain holes in the ground, and I thought that was absolutely amazing. I think they have a really good stew that they make.
Yeah, it's called cozido, and it's a Portuguese dish, and it has all different meats in it, and like chicken and bacon and ribs and sausage, and then it's covered with cabbage and potatoes and carrots, and it is put in a pot right in the earth,
Yeah.
and it's cooked for 6 to 7 hours, and then served to people. It is just amazing. It
Mm,
is
yeah.
so delicious.
I remember that very well. Okay. Um, Now it has been suggested that you fly from Azores to travel more in other parts of Europe. And I believe that traveling in Europe now is really popular.
Yes, it's very popular. We talked about it's a great alternative to the US. And the dollar is relatively stable. A lot of Canadians come from Europe, have heritage in Europe,
Yeah, that's right.
but also that it is rich in history. It's a destination that you can go to over and over again and never see the same thing.
Okay. What's your favorite place to go to in Europe?
Well, I loved Rome
Rome. Okay. Okay.
because everywhere you turn around, there's art.
Okay.
I loved Britain too. I love Europe. I mean,
Okay.
it's hard to say I loved Paris. It's hard to say much.
So basically, there's lots of places to go. Just because we're boycotting the US, we do not need to suffer in terms of traveling. But I think we should talk about traveling within Canada. Let's get the snow gone and it's summertime. Like let's going to the West Coast and visiting BC. Very popular.
And I agree with you, Marge, because we have we employ 745,300 people in the travel industry in Canada. But coming back to what you're asking about, yeah, I looked into traveling out west and I thought this was a great idea because there's all kinds of travel. To fly to Calgary, and from Calgary, you take a train to Banff, Lake Louise, Jasper, Kamloops, and Vancouver. And on the way there, it's just beautiful. It's a 9 day travel train trip, and you come across amazing sights and amazing landmarks. You will see the Calgary Tower in Calgary, the Sulphur Mountains Gondola in Banff, UNESCO World Heritage Site in Banff National Park, Bow Valley Parkway, Grouse Mountain, Emerald Lake in Yoho National Park, Lake Louise, Rocky Mountain Silverleaf, Ice Explorer Ride on Athabasca Glacier, Jasper National Park, Jasper Sky Tram, Mangles Lake, Fly Over Canada, or we must talk about that, Vancouver City Tour, and Capilano Suspension Bridge.
Whoa. You do that in
So
9 days?
you will see that in 9 days. And
Wow.
of course, you do stop,
Yeah.
you have stop in some hotels, and you do tours of some of the sites.
Okay. I think we take Canada for granted, and obviously we should not do that. Yeah, and yeah, taking the train across Canada is something that certainly appeals to me. Okay, so you've convinced me, you convinced us we need to go to BC. How about we jump to the East Coast and talk about Newfoundland? That was another hot spot for our Connecting the Community friends.
Yeah, because Newfoundland is untouched land. It has 10,000-year-old icebergs, 30-ton whales, stunning coastlines, quaint fishing villages, Viking settlement, waterfalls and glacier fjords. And it's just beautiful. And St. John's, known for the 17th century Signal Hill Citadel. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
With hillside, because you've been to Newfoundland,
Yeah, I've
right?
been there. It was very windy. That's what I remember about that place. So, and it often is. But yeah, it is. Those are just gorgeous places. My one
And
mistake I made going
yeah,
there was I didn't really comprehend, take in how big Newfoundland was. I really ought to have looked closely at a map because yes, we went to the east coast of the Newfoundland, but I really wanted to go to the west coast, and it was not a fast drive from one coast to another. So,
and I would take a train to Newfoundland because I've heard amazing things about it. And I looked at the price, it's only like $500.
mm,
So I would suggest seeing Canada,
yeah,
like you said.
yeah, it is, and I'm going to put a plug in for Grossmore Park. That was my favorite place. Really do want to go back to that part of the island, and just the geography, the geology would just absolutely amaze me, and the
Why are you going to put a plug for that place?
Oh, because it was just the most amazing place to climb on. The rocks were just amazing. It was just like, wow. Every bump, the hill you went over, you kept saying, wow. So it was, to me, an amazing place. And then the Icelandic village settlement was up in that top west coast as well. And I found that amazing. So, now, we actually could talk for hours. We could talk about travel. We will do another travel podcast. We'll ask our friends what we should talk about. But I do want you to tell us, as a travel agent, what are people's reasons for traveling?
Well, when we qualify our clients, when I qualify my clients, I usually ask them the reason why it comes out, the reason why they want to go for a
Hmm.
relaxing holiday or to escape everything. And then they tell me what kind of a holiday they want. They want to explore new places, meet people, or some of them go on a romantic holiday, strengthen their relationships. Or for food, they
Yeah.
want to go on a food trip, you know, which I
Uh,
don't mind going
you don't
myself.
mind that. Okay. Well, you didn't put one of my reasons was I want to find interesting rocks. And that's why I like
Oh,
Gross
wow.
Morn Park.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so
Oh, I should have put that hobby.
anything else that you wanted to add, Celine?
Well, I just want to say that people should. use a travel agent rather than
Mm-hmm.
doing it online for many reasons. The main reason is that we have direct access to the tour operator because the travel agents sell such a big volume of travel that they will listen to us and look at us. And we have special phone lines directly to them. And we also have good relationships with them. You know, I've been in the business for 20 years. So
Mm-hmm.
I pretty well know my tour operators as friends.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of clout. You know, we can do a few things. A client has a problem somewhere out of the country, we can help them right away.
Mm.
Also, when COVID, like just to give you an example, when COVID happened, I got refunds for all my clients.
Mm.
You know, it's always better to use a travel agent just because you're secure.
Yeah. Okay. That very good advice for that. Okay. Well, as I said,
And just one more thing too, we have access to all the research engines. So if they are online and they're looking for the best price, they have to go to five, six different tour operators. We can do it in a minute because
mm,
we have access to these engines that are only available to trade.
okay.
So cruising, we get promotions that you will not see online.
Okay. We'll put in the podcast notes, your website, your how to contact you. And I promise that we will do another podcast about traveling because it is so fun to talk about these places. And I do end the podcast asking the same question of all guests, even if they were repeat guests. I want you to name just one thing you really like about this community.
Oh, Marge, I can't name one thing. I'm going to tell it to you in a sentence.
Okay.
I like the support. I love this community. It's enriching my life. I love the support. I love the problem solving. We have access to all resources and people. And Marge, you are the glue.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I like to think of myself as connector rather than glue, but as I said, I'll put stuff in the podcast notes. I encourage people to reach out to you, talk traveling and such to you, give you some questions. I'm going to put a link to my photos of my trip to Azores. It was about 10 years ago, but they're still really nice photos.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And you do have photographs for Newfoundland too, right?
Yeah, I could put those in as well. So yeah. So
Yeah.
that's I enjoy sharing my photos. So thank you, Celine, for taking the time to do this podcast. Thank you for listening. I would very much appreciate you sharing this podcast. Consider emailing me at Marj, M-A-R-J, at marjandre.com. I welcome suggestions for podcast guests. Stay well, stay connected.